Hi guys, very warm welcome to the Unsupervised Learning now. You have done a great job while exploring supervised learning methods such as regression and classification in the previous sections. That was great. Now in this section, we will focus on unsupervised learning, which is a set of statistical tools intended for the setting in which we have only a set of features. So we are only given a set of features measured on n observations. We are not interested in predictions anymore because we don't have associated response variable, which is we used to call a target class. We are not given a target class. So we will talk about k-mean clustering algorithm, a very simple and elegant approach for partitioning a dataset into distinct non-overlapping clusters. So the goal is to discover interesting things about the measurements based on features. That is unsupervised learning. So before moving forward to the algorithm, let's have a brief overview on unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning is often much more challenging. It's more subjective because no simple goal for analysis. We don't have predictions, we don't have response. Unsupervised learning is often performed as a part of an exploratory data analysis. It can be hard to access the results obtained from unsupervised learning methods since there is no universally accepted mechanism for performing cross-validation or validating results on an independent dataset. So no way to check our work because we don't know the true answer. The problem is unsupervised. Techniques for unsupervised learning are of growing importance in a number of fields. For example, a cancer researcher might assay gene expression level in 100 patients with breast cancer. He or she might then look for subgroups among the breast cancer samples or among the genes in order to obtain a better understanding of the disease. Another very common example is an online shopping site. That site might try to identify groups of shoppers with similar browsing and purchase histories, as well as items that are of particular interest to the shoppers within each group. Then an individual shopper can be preferentially shown the items in which he or she is particularly likely to be interested, based on the purchase histories of similar shoppers. You may have experienced this example while shopping on Amazon or several other online shopping websites. Let's think about another common example where a search engine might choose what search results to display to a particular individual based on the click histories of other individuals with similar research patterns. These statistical learning tasks and many more can be performed via unsupervised machine learning techniques. Some other very common examples include identifying similar groups, feature-based clustering of customers, clustering of similar documents, and much more. There are tons of examples for unsupervised machine learning. So we got a brief overview of unsupervised machine learning. Let's move on to the algorithm that we are going to use. This is k-means clustering. K-mean clustering algorithm attempts to group similar clusters together in the data in the unsupervised learning. The overall goal is to divide the data into distinct groups such that the observations within each group are similar. So we want to separate similar observations in the similar groups. In a very simple example given below, The algorithm takes an unlabeled data, which is our training data, and attempts to group it into four distinct color clusters on the right side. So the k equal to 4 here. K equal to 4 means we want to divide this data into four clusters. So the question is, how does it work? How does actually the algorithm is assigning a data point to a distinct class? Let's explore. Consider we are given a data and we decided to select k equal to 4 in this case. In the very first step, after selecting k equal to 4, each data point or observation is randomly assigned to a cluster. Like in this case, all the data points are overlapping. We have four colors, four groups, because we have chosen k equal to 4, but there's no distinct class so far. So in the next step, the centroids for each cluster are computed. Centroids are shown as large colored disks with black spot in the center. They are computed by taking the mean vector of points in each cluster. Initially, the centroids are almost completely overlapping because the initial cluster assignments were chosen at random. So now we have cluster centroids. We go back to the data points, and each observation, or we can say data point, is assigned to the nearest centroid. So this is the point where we can see four distinct classes in our data. But we are not done yet. We need to do more computation until the clusters stop changing. The next step is actually step 2 that we perform again, and this leads us to new cluster centroids. So we repeat these steps until converged. Converged means the clusters stop changing. So finally, we get similar clusters together in our data after I iteration. In this example, we only did 3 iterations. So in this case, we had k equal to 4. Do you think k equal to 4 is the optimum value? Do you think there could be more clusters than 4? Did we choose the right value for k? These are the questions what we need to answer. Like, let's have a look on the same data with k from 2 to 8. They all look good. K equal to, that looks a good clustering. K equal to 8, yes, still it looks a good clustering. So what is the method? Is there any optimum value for k? There is no easy answer for choosing the best or optimum value for k. In order to choose a correct or reasonable value of k, domain knowledge is important. However, elbow method provides a way to roughly determine the value of k. Let's explore how this elbow method helps us to find the optimum value for k. Let's do some thinking here before we move on. So in a given data set, increasing the number of clusters will always reduce the distance to the data points. The extreme is of reaching 0 when k is same as the number of data points. So what we do actually, we compute the sum of squared distance for a range of k values and then plot those k values against the sum of squared distance. In the plot below, we notice that the error decreases as k gets larger. This is because when the number of clusters increases, the clusters get smaller. So distortion is also smaller. In this example, elbow point is k equal to 5. This is the value where sum of squared distance decreases sharply. and this value can be used an estimate for k. So the focus is to find the point where the sum of squared distance decreases sharply. So this was all about the theory behind k-means clustering. In this lecture, we got a quick overview on unsupervised learning along with k-means clustering algorithm. We have discussed the principle behind k-means clustering and how to find the optimum value of k to get the best from this state-of-the-art machine learning algorithm. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. It's time to work with the dataset now. Let's move on to the Jupyter Notebook and learn by doing. See you in the next lecture. Good luck.